Lesson 2-4, Solve Addition Equations. So we're continuing our studies with equations. This one we're all focusing on addition equations, but in order to solve these, we're going to use the substitution or the subtraction property of equality. So how are we going to solve these problems? First, we need to isolate the variable by using inverse operations. Just know that addition and subtraction are inverse operations of each other. So if this is an addition problem, then the opposite or the inverse would be subtraction. And that's where we get the subtraction property of equality, which says it's a method used to solve addition algebraic equations. So whatever you subtract on one side of the equal sign, you'll have to subtract that same number on the other side. So one way to think about this is a pan balance. So on a pan balance, both sides are equal. If you take something away from one pan, it's no longer going to be balanced. So you have to take that same amount away on the other side. Or if you were to add something to one side, you'd have to add that same amount to the other. So let's take a look at an example. Here we're going to solve the following equations. Here it says x plus a negative 5 equals 12. Now the opposite, now this one is a little bit tricky because it looks like we're adding, which we are adding a negative number, but you could also write this. This is really saying x minus 5 equals 12. Now the opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. So I'm going to have to add 5 to both sides, and I'm left with x equaling 17. And I can check that by putting 17 in for x. 17 plus a negative 5 is 12. Next one, we have the absolute value of negative 6 equaling 24 plus x. First thing I want to do is just rewrite this. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So now I have that equaling 24 plus x. Now the opposite of adding 24 is subtracting 24. So if I subtract 24 on both sides, I'm now left with x equaling 6 minus 24 is a negative 18. And if I plug that back in here, 24 plus a negative 18 does give me 6. Next, x plus 9 equals 21. The opposite of adding 9 is subtracting 9. So I do that on both sides to keep it balanced. And x is going to equal 21 minus 9 is going to give us 12. Next one, 52 plus s equals 37. The opposite of adding 52 is subtracting 52. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And now I'm left with s equaling, because the signs are different here, I'm just subtracting the 2. So 37 minus 52. That's going to give us a negative 15. And if I plug that back in there, 52 plus a negative 15 gives me 37. A couple other problems here. Again, we have to follow order of operations. And so you have exponents involved in this first one. So I want to simplify that part first. So right now I have negative 85 equaling k and negative 4 squared. So because negative 4 is in parentheses and I'm squaring it, negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. So plus 16. Now the opposite of adding 16 is subtracting 16. So if I subtract 16 on both sides, I'm left with k on the right hand side. And now I have negative 85 minus 16. Because they're both have a minus sign in front of it, I'm going to be adding the two numbers, and the answer is going to be a negative number. So 5 plus 6 is 11. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So it would be a negative 101. And this next one here, I want to combine like terms on the left-hand side. 4 plus 7 is 11. Plus z equals 0. And I want to get z by itself, so the opposite of adding 11 is subtracting 11. So I do that on both sides, and I'm left with z equaling a negative 11. And our final problems. Here we're going to compare and contrast the steps in solving these equations. They look the same except for the 5 in the first one is positive and the second one is negative. So x plus 5 equals 12. Here, the opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides, and I'm left with x equaling 7. Over here, because I'm adding a negative number, I can rewrite this as x minus 5 equals 12. And because I'm subtracting 5, the opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides again, and here I have x equaling 17, which is just like a problem we did earlier in the video. So that's our lesson on solving addition equations.